Have a new beautiful candle. Welcome home. There is in this place the possibility of healing, of repair, of making things right within ourselves, between us and the wider world. We gather around this light of hope as we share this time together. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.
Welcome to Wedgwood this morning. We are so glad that you're here in person. And those of you that are watching on live stream, welcome. We're glad you're here. And those of you that are watching later in the day or later in the week at our live stream recording, we're glad you chose to spend some time with Wedgwood this morning. We have Corey Easterday here with us to speak, and I am sure Liz will introduce Corey a little bit later. We have our prelude. You have a copy of the words. It was sent to you with the order of service, so you might want to follow along. Our theme today is hope, hopeful communities, and this song is hope. Hope's not giving up. Hope's not giving up. In the cold, dark night, she's not giving up. Thank you. Perfect. We do
I
have,
love that song. I had
I
never
do
heard of
too.
it until Corey recommended it, and then I was listening to it and looking at the lyrics. I was like, "Oh, this is perfect."
Yes, keep it in our file. We'll use it
Yes,
again.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, we're definitely going to reuse this.
Absolutely. And we have a few announcements this morning.
Yes, thank you, Melba. So we have a lot going on here at Wedgwood. We just want to share a few things with you. Next Sunday, February 25th, here at Wedgwood on Zoom. The Reverend Allison Tanner from the National Organizer for Apartheid-Free Communities will be speaking and giving us an update on Palestine and how we can live our pledge as a part of, apartheid-free communities. And then after that, we will move right into March. And this is a leap year. Can you back one? There you go. Thank you. This is a leap year. On the last day of February this year, our Social Justice Book Club will be meeting. We meet every other Thursday, which just so happens to be February 29th this year for our next meeting at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Our Social Justice Book Club will be meeting. We've been reading a powerful book on the history of Palestine. And we had a guest speaker last week who was actually joining the book club because they had such a wonderful time. Melba, did you want to share anything about this?
Well, yes, Khalid is a Palestinian American, and he came to our book club, and we had asked him to come and just answer some questions because the history is so complex, and none of us have ever taken Middle Eastern studies. So we were kind of struggling to help each other get through the first part of this book. And he came and he thought our questions were brilliant, by the way. And every question was like, oh, that's such a good question. And so he answered the questions. He enjoyed the book club. He's going to read the book along with us now and help us through this book. It's not too late to join. We have finished the first two chapters. Just catch up with us and come on, because it's an amazing hour together. It really is.
Awesome. Thank you, Melba. So that Zoom link is on all of our social media pages. It's in our newsletter and it's on our website. So join us. And we have a meetup coming up. The Moral March on Raleigh into the Polls is back on Saturday, March 2nd. And it is in Raleigh. But if folks want to join the Wedgwood group, we're going to be taking the Amtrak train. It does leave pretty early in the morning, but you can snooze on the train, and it's a nice ride. We'll arrive a little after 10, and it's about a 15-minute walk over to the muster station before the actual march begins. And they're going to march to the south side of the state capitol. So if you want to join, you're welcome to. It's going to be fun. If you also just want to be in solidarity from afar, that's welcome too. But like we were saying before in our coffee and conversation time, we really try to put action with our beliefs and live out who we are. And this is one of the ways we do so. So if you are interested, please join us. Yesterday, we had our first strategic planning session of the year. It was a great start. There's a lot happening. We're also going to have a church business meeting. There's a couple different things we're going to be voting on. And Melba, it's escaping me the two things we're going to be voting on. Can you remind me?
Well, we're talking about not really a name change, but just kind of adjusting the wording of our name change. And then we have got to get some marketing done to get the word out there about how great Wedgwood is. So we're going to be talking about budget and marketing too. So those are the two items that will be coming up. We'll have more in the newsletter, more information about you, but it's really exciting. But we're keeping the name Wedgwood. Don't think we're jumping
Yeah.
ship on that.
We're
just
just
gonna reword
thinking
things.
about we're thinking about our future and stepping into like a Wedgwood 2.0, which is
Yeah.
very exciting. So so mark your calendars for March 12th at 6:30 p.m. This is going to be on Zoom. And membership. So we have folks that have joined us from time to time that are not members yet, which is absolutely fine. But especially, you know, like we said, we have a strategic planning meeting. Some votes will be happening. And if you want your voice to be heard and counted in that, and we want yours to be too, you do have to be a member according to our Constitution. So if you've been on the fence about joining, it's really just a Google form. It's like 5 questions, really just basic stuff. But do that, and your voice will be at the table as we make some of these decisions. And there's room for everyone at the table.
Yes.
Everyone at the table. But you just got to join the church.
Yes, if you can't be here on Sunday mornings, but you have an active interest in Wedgwood and you're supporting us, you can still be a member. We understand because we have people that can't that work on Sunday mornings. So it doesn't matter. We want your voice. We need your voice at our table.
Yes, all voices are so needed. So join us. And connect with us. There's a lot of different ways to do so. We're pretty active on social media. We've got an Instagram and a Facebook page and a Facebook group. If you're in the Facebook group but don't follow our Facebook page, please follow our Facebook page as well. I can relink it on our Facebook group as well. But we need a certain number of followers in order to be able to do some things. So please, please, please do that. You can also visit our website. We keep that updated. We have a weekly newsletter that generally goes out on Thursdays, give or take a day. You can also email us or call us, but we try to be readily available at all times for folks. So reach out to us and connect. And we are here to help. There's 4 of us that kind of, you know, keep the nuts and bolts of Wedgwood moving. Melba is our ministerial coordinator. I am the community outreach coordinator. Ashanti is the music coordinator, and Ryan is our technology coordinator. So we are small, but we are mighty. We say this quite a bit. And even though we are not meeting in person on Sunday mornings, we still do a lot in the community. And so as you feel so moved, we appreciate any financial support you have, because we really try to walk our talk as much as we can. And we need your help to do that. So as you are so moved, please consider donating to Wedgwood and support the work that we do. And there's a few ways to do so. You can mail a donation. You can pay via Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle. There's lots of options there for you. Thank you.
And now Thomas will lead us in our extravagant welcome, and you can follow along on the screen. He reads a phrase, and then we all follow by saying, "We are all welcome here."
We are all welcome here. Welcome to a church that works for peace, justice, equality, and the care of Mother Earth.
We are all welcome here.
An extravagant welcome to you because of your gender identification, sexual orientation, ethnicity, economic situation, physical and mental challenges, doubting or believing, being depressed or full of joy.
We are all welcome here.
We are a community of curious and creative spiritual seekers striving to learn and embody the way of Jesus and other spiritual leaders.
We
We
are
are
all
all
welcome
welcome
here.
here.
Like Jesus, we focus on the plundered and the marginalized as we try to address the major issues of our day.
We are all welcome here.
here.
One of the ways we seek to heal the world and ourselves is through sharing parts of our personal story.
We are
We are
all
all
welcome
welcome
here.
here.
Thank you. And now we come to a time of celebrations and concerns. We need to continue to uplift Connie Green Johnson. She is still struggling with health issues. She had emergency heart surgery about a month ago, but she is still struggling with recovering. So we need to remember and lift up Connie Green Johnson. As I've mentioned before, I have a dear friend who was just recently diagnosed with terminal cancer and treatment has stopped. Her name is Hazel. She lives in Nova Scotia, actually. So please remember to lift Hazel up and her family. Lori, do you want to give us an update on some of your illnesses that you all have had to deal with?
Yes, right now things are looking stable and we appreciate your prayers, continued prayers for my ex-husband and his family. They feel like the brain infection is getting better, so we just really hope that you will all continue prayers. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. I have a celebration. Yesterday was a great meeting for Wedgwood with strategic planning. We had a great turnout, great conversation, and I'm just excited about what looks ahead for Wedgwood, and be sure and join our Zoom meeting on March the 12th where we make some decisions on some things we discussed yesterday. So that's a great celebration. Are there other concerns or celebrations?
I'm having a surgery tomorrow to excise a squamous cancer cell from my eyebrow.
Okay,
The good news is they found it.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah, that's a
absolutely.
good thing.
Right.
So we'll remember you, Thomas.
Oh, I'll be back.
Oh, yes.
I'm celebrating on Valentine's Day. My daughter Naz turned 42 and my grandson Chase turned 13. So I always love Valentine's Day, and I got two special people in my life to celebrate now.
Aw.
We can celebrate those two grandsons for sure. They're just doing awesome. I
They
love the
are.
pictures and all that you share.
Yeah, Gavin's here with
They're
me.
doing great. So we celebrate them. They're members of Wedgwood too.
Yes, they are.
Any others? And we have our list in our newsletter to remember Palestine, to remember the indigenous people, to remember people who are suffering in silence with mental health issues. So those are in our newsletter, and we always lift up those needs. But in the spirit of Wedgwood, we'll have a moment of silence because we have different beliefs. If you believe in prayer, please use this time for prayer, meditation, self-reflection on how we can be better people in this world. How can we live out our goals of Wedgwood and to be good people and to change the world? So whatever you want to use this time as, maybe just silence to shake off this awful week you've had. That's okay too. Sometimes we just need that. So we'll have a few moments of silence, use as you choose. Amen. And now, Liz, if you want to introduce Corey, and Corey, we welcome you. We're eager to hear what you have to share with us today.
Yes, thank you, Melvette. So Corey and I met year and a half ago through a mutual friend, and we connected over our, shared love of community. And when we were Wedgwood was still doing the pantry, and I connected Corey with them, and it just really resonated. And last fall, we were like, let's connect. I want you to come to Wedgwood and share what you do because it's so important. And so I'm just so thrilled that we're finally here. And I'm really excited to introduce Corey. Corey does amazing work with Current. It's so important and plays such a huge role in helping people have dignity, because we need more of that. And Corey has a shirt that says Hope Dealer on it, and I love that. I want one of those shirts. It really speaks to what Corey does and what Current does. And so without further ado, please welcome Corey Easterday.
Hey, thanks, Liz, for the introduction. Thank you all for having me. Oh, look, now my face is big on screen. Perfect. That works great for reading from my notes also. No, I'm really excited to be here with Wedgwood today. Liz has told me a lot about Wedgwood and what y'all do and how active you are in the community. And as she mentioned, I got to stop by the food pantry, and it's just been great to hear about everything that y'all have going on. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share about current initiatives and the laundry project, and why I'm wearing a shirt that you can see half of that says Hope Dealer. There's the whole thing. Merch will be available after the talk. I'm just kidding. I can get everybody, but I'm not here to sell merch. So if you can't tell, I also moonlight as a stand-up comedian. So there you go. Lots of jokes today. But in all seriousness, like you've shared, today's talk is kind of giving hope to communities. And the reason I chose that song, Hope, by Remedy Drive, that came out 15 years ago, which makes me feel fairly old. I'm not, old, but it definitely makes me feel old that song came out when I was in college. And it resonated with me, and it's very meaningful to me because of a time in my life when I was in college and high school and coming up that I had more often than not, that did feel hopeless. And that song and how it speaks about the resiliency of hope and the power of hope always really resonated with me. And that's where this phrase on my shirt, Hope Dealer, comes from in part. Not that song directly, but just that idea of hope and its power, and how hope has manifested for us through current initiatives. We have a few different community initiatives that we've done since we started in 2008, but the one that we do the most and that seems to have resonated a lot with the communities that we've worked in is called the Laundry Project. And so, as I mentioned, uh, moon wannabe stand-up comedian, all these different hats I wear, but one of the many hats I wear is being the national director for a nonprofit called Current Initiatives and the Laundry Project. So the Laundry Project assists lower income families with meeting a basic need, washing clothes and linens, by turning laundromats into community centers of hope. Laundry fees are paid for while volunteers assist with laundry services and create a caring space at the laundromat. So we call laundromats laundry projects. We like to say we're turning laundromats into community centers of hope because that truly is our goal, meeting that tangible need and also connecting with the folks that we meet in the laundromat on a relational and community level, and getting volunteer groups, other people involved to kind of help support that. So the basic practical explanation of what a laundry project event looks like is we call it organized chaos because that's truly what it is. So we will have volunteers assisting families. It's open to the public, each event, usually from like 10 to 1. And it's first come, first serve. Folks get their laundry in. We don't have any limits on the amount of laundry people can do. We post event information like on our website. We have volunteers to assist with paying for laundry, helping with laundry supplies, helping folks get their clothes into the dryers, entertaining kids, just like we said in that kind of mission statement, creating a caring space at the laundromat while just making sure that we're able to meet the need of each family that comes to the Laundry Project event. And uh, we, as Liz has mentioned, like dignity is a big value for us. So I'm a big fan of, if any of y'all are familiar with John Perkins, CCDA, Christian Community Development Association. I heard him or read in a book or online quote or something one time when I was younger and just starting to kind of get into this type of work is, we're not bestowing dignity on people, we're affirming their dignity. So it's the idea that each human being has inherent dignity, inherent worth. If you follow the Christian tradition, was created in the image of God. So it's that kind of belief that it is not mine to give, but it's more so ours that we can affirm and kind of remind people sometimes of the inherent dignity that they have. And another big value for us is just the idea of doing what you can. So as I've watched some of the past Wedgwood services, and as you even shared today, there's always so many things going on in the world, so many issues and problems going on right here in our own community in the Charlotte area, globally, nationally, all that stuff. So we're big believers in doing what you can, that even small things can have great impact. And as we're able to develop partnerships with other groups and kind of work together, that impact and that hope dealing, as we call it, can grow exponentially and have a really big ripple effect. So as we've alluded to, and as I've modeled the phrase on my shirt, Hope Dealer is what we call our volunteers. I'll be honest, I didn't come up with this phrase. So sometimes just personally, I can be too cynical for my own good. So when we first came out with these shirts years ago, I thought the phrase Hope Dealer was pretty cheesy, and I felt silly wearing it on a shirt. But that word hope and the phrase Hope Dealer has honestly become one of my favorite things over the years, and it's taken on a whole new meaning for me lately, because I think for all of us, we all have at least one person in our life, or maybe somebody whose work we follow, that has inspired hope in us or has given us hope, that kind of resiliency factor of hope to keep going. Like I said in that song, hope's not giving up. And hopefully we've each had at least one person in our lives over time model that for us and give us the hope to keep going. It's something that each of us needs at times. And what I think is really cool is it's also something that we have the capability to inspire in others, that word hope. And I think it's important to remember that. I gave a talk recently about this, and somebody came up to me afterwards and reminded me of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you've ever studied psychology, and the idea that the goal is self-actualization. Somebody to feel that sense of dignity, to feel empowered, to feel that self-worth, like they have something to offer the world and they can move about freely in the world feeling empowered. And it starts with basic needs, a lot of times, that safety, that security, that having food, shelter, clean clothes, all of that. So it's all kind of connected. It's, again, as we've said, this idea of meeting tangible needs, but also how it connects to some of the larger themes of being human and that self-actualization. And I've been thinking a lot lately about those two ideas, needing hope and what it means to inspire hope. Um, I've been thinking about it more because this past September, so I was originally on the docket, I think, to share with you all in October, and one of the reasons this got pushed back to now we're in February is because in September, my wife and I got word that my wife's mom, Marianne, in all likelihood, had an extremely rare, incurable brain disease, and her mom, Marianne, ended up passing away in October as a result of that disease. It was all very sudden, and even now we're still in the midst of what has been an extremely difficult time. But I felt like it was important to share today and share that specifically, partly because I want to honor Marianne's legacy and how, in addition to being one of the best and most loving people I've ever known on the planet, that she was somebody who truly inspired hope in everyone she met. As we spent time with Marianne in the hospital, it became clear that while she could understand us, she was having an increasingly difficult time communicating as a result of the brain disease. So I distinctly remember one day visiting her wearing this same exact Hope Dealer shirt that I have on now. And because over the last decade, she's been one of our biggest supporters with the laundry project, I knew she would love seeing me wear it. So sure enough, she saw my shirt, pointed and exclaimed Hope Dealer, which was a really big deal because, again, she could barely communicate at that point. And my wife and I were like, that's right, Mom, you're a Hope Dealer. You're an ultimate Hope Dealer. It was a moment, it was a low key miracle and a moment I'll definitely never forget, because in the midst of us personally needing so much hope, just as a family, going through one of the hardest things we've ever had to go through, being able to reflect on my mother-in-law and how much hope she had given others over the course of her life, and just that phrase resonating with all of us in that moment was a really big deal. And there's a popular Mumford and Sons, because of course I'm somebody that would love Mumford and Sons. I'm a millennial, I'm sorry. But there's a song lyric that goes, where you invest your love, you invest your life, that they sing. Where you invest your love, you invest your life. And that's always stood out to me. That's something that my mother-in-law, Marianne, modeled. She invested love and invested her life into so many people. And whenever I look at the words Hope Dealer going forward, I always think of her. And going through that experience just fundamentally transformed the way I view our work with the Laundry Project and what it means to be a Hope Dealer in general, because many of the people that we interact with at Laundry Project events are experiencing situations in life where they need a tangible representation of hope. A very brief backstory for me is that part of the reason I got involved with this organization, for many years, I grew up in a very tumultuous household environment, to put it lightly. And at one point, my dad was out of the picture, and my mom was a single mom for quite a while, taking care of myself and my little sister. And I distinctly remember in 2010 getting to a point when I was going to school at Malone University in Canton, Ohio. That's right. I live in Charlotte and I'm from Ohio. I know I'm the first person you've ever met that can claim that. That's a joke. But yeah, there you go. But I distinctly remember being in my dorm room, my mom being like, yeah, through a number of circumstances, we don't have a place to live. And so going through that brief period of my mom and sister not having a place to live, and luckily a family friend put them up in a hotel for a month, but we didn't have a home. I had been going to food pantries and soup kitchens for a good portion of my life growing up, and knew acutely the struggle of trying to make ends meet, and just being in survival mode day to day. And so going through that, and then starting to get involved with this laundry project stuff, it was a real good connection of like, my story is different in the unique circumstances from a lot of the people we're meeting at these laundry project events. But the similar theme is that you never know what somebody's going through. You never know what financial, emotional, mental, like all these different struggles that people can have. And so anything that we can do in our lives, whether it's meeting a basic need of clean laundry, being kind, all the way to like deeper, more actionable things, just a whole spectrum of ways that you can get involved in community and people's lives. Being a tangible representation of hope is so important. And even for me to this day, even with how I grew up, it can be easy to take for granted things like clean laundry, not having to worry about paying bills or buying groceries. And or even the opportunity to experience that social connection and, what we call that community center of hope. Even deeper things like, it can be difficult. It can be easy to take for granted just that basic affirmation of each person's dignity and the way we try to build each other up in community. But we've gotten numerous families over the years that have shared, being able to afford clean laundry empowers them in deeper ways, but also just those practical ways of, now I can buy groceries, now I can pay the electric bill, things of that nature. Can be really powerful because, again, as I talked about that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's really, really difficult to self-actualize into who you were created to be as a person and the ways that you can give hope to others if you yourself are in kind of a daily survival mode. So just those simple acts of love became more powerful over time than even I realized. So for Charlotte, for the laundry project, we started doing it here in October of 2022, and our incredible community in Charlotte has made it possible for us to host 7 total laundry projects where we've been able to help over 250 families wash 2,500 plus loads of laundry, which, because I know more about laundromats and laundry than I ever thought I would in my entire life, those 2,500 loads, each load of laundry, you multiply it by 10, is how many pounds of laundry you've washed. So 2,500 loads equals 25,000 plus pounds of laundry washed over those 7 projects. And behind each of those numbers are those individual stories of hope, those tangible representations of the transformative power that love, hope, tangible action, and community can have in our lives. So I just wanted to leave you with this. I'm going to share some practical ways, to get involved with the laundry project, and happy to answer any questions. But, whether it's family, friends, loved ones, work, here at, Wedgwood, when you're meeting out in the community, wherever and however you interact with others, I would just encourage you to remember that you have the power to be a catalyst for more hope in this world, to live out that message of that song we listened to, the resiliency of hope, and also that it's okay to be in need of hope as well, and to seek hope from your community and from those acts of love yourself. So as far as getting involved with the project, just the basic action step would be, we have a website that I threw up in the chat, that laundrybycurrent.org. And we also are at Engage Current on all social media. You can always reach out to me directly. But yeah, I'll kind of stop there, leave it open for questions and discussion.
I just was going to say that just resonated with me while you were talking. This laundry project that we chatted about even before the service started, getting involved in, really goes with Wedgwood so well, because there at one time we had a washer and a dryer in the basement, and there was a hotel nearby, a small hotel, where people got help to stay there until they got on their feet. And Chris would bring people from there over to Wedgwood to do their laundry. And so this seems like a perfect match, and kind of going back to our roots too, of the kinds of things we can do. So I that just struck me as I thought about it, and I just think that's wonderful. And I guess yesterday we talked, and one thing we didn't say that struck me when you said that was, why do you come to Wedgwood? What is Wedgwood gives me hope. And I didn't say that yesterday because I didn't think of it, but people like you and people like everybody else on this screen give me hope. So thank you very much for that message. Wonderful.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you said it. So 2 things is, yes, that tangible, which I didn't mention. Just we've had countless stories of clean laundry helps with job interviews. There's kids going to school without clean laundry. It just, I had a guy tell me years ago. He's like, people don't want to be around you when you smell bad. So just the fact that I can clean it sounds so simple, but just the fact that I can clean my laundry, there's like shame involved when you don't have clean clothes. So, and then the second thing is, yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, because that's something I've been thinking about a lot more, are like, where are the spaces where I experience hope? And oftentimes it is in community settings exactly like this one. So I agree with that.
Corey, you fit right into what we do here at Wedgwood very easily. And thank you for sharing parts of your personal story about, when you were younger with your mom, trying to do what she needs to do as a mom, and you going through that as a child. And that's, like you said, that's memorable. You're never going to forget that experience. And that's probably why you are the way you are today. You're humble and you're caring, and, because you experienced maybe hopelessness at some point, I guess you could say the word is. And we can experience hopelessness in all different ways, whether it's not having a home, or having a home and the home's not comfortable, or the home is scary, or the home is not where you feel safe. So there's all different ways of feeling hopeless. And thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. You were saying that I was reminded, somebody told me one time that to them, the definition of love was fighting for the highest good of others. And
Mm.
you're sharing that, I was thinking back on my past, like, why am I the way that why do I care about this stuff so much? Because I've been doing it for so long now. I just kind of, sometimes you don't think about it, but I realized, like, seeing firsthand, what my mom went through, and going through the situations we went through, because it all connects, because I was surrounded by great community and great people that inspired hope in me and were there for me. It gave me a drive and a desire to want to fight for others. And that's what I kind of see in Wedgwood in my, brief interactions and experience of what you all do here, is that at the end of the day, you are in all the things you're doing, fighting for the highest good of others. So I think you can't go wrong when you're doing that.
No, you can't go wrong.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, you can't go wrong with that.
I had a couple of practical questions, really. One is, how do you select what community to do your project in? And second, is there any follow-up, or is it a one shot deal?
Yeah, great questions. So a really big thing for us. So I should get a little bit broader context. So we're in 18 states across the country. It started in Tampa, Florida, and I was our Ohio director for a long time, from about 2010 when I was in college till when my wife and I moved to this area a few years back. And uh, a big value for us is that partnership building with the actual laundromats and organizations and people in the community over time. So when we're talking with new places to potentially partner, or new community groups to partner with, uh, exactly what you said is a big value for us, that we don't want to just be like a one-off event, that we want to be able to, like, keep being consistent and able to connect in community with the people that we're serving, and connecting them to other resources as well, because we're just one part of the many needs that people have. So that ties into the laundromat locations we work with. Is oftentimes, because laundry is an essential service and people that don't have access to laundry, a lot of the laundromats naturally are in communities where that's more of a need for people. But so that's definitely a factor that we consider. But just practically, we like to work with clean laundromats. We like to work with laundromats that are well maintained, that are, a good relationship with the owner, because we want to be a super positive experience for the families that are coming. Imagine if you were a family, because we've had this happen numerous times, that you didn't know there was a free laundry event happening, and you're pulling up with a truckload of garbage bags of laundry you were planning to do anyway. And if it was chaotic and it was hard to get in, the laundromat wasn't clean, and there wasn't, good overall space there, it wouldn't be a very positive experience. So we're looking at it from all sides of, is it a good owner? Is this a community where this is going to be super beneficial? Is it a great looking laundromat? And then again, as you mentioned, that long-term partnership piece is a really big value for us.
And you don't want the experience to be more chaotic, because going to the laundromat is already stressful as enough, especially if you have children and you have a lot to do, a lot of laundry to do. It's hard to watch them and put the laundry in the wash machine, and watch the child at the same time, because the kids run around because they're kids, and that's difficult to do, to watch the kids and try to put the laundry in. It is.
For sure. And yeah, very long ago, like way first started, years and years ago, when I first started doing this, there was a laundromat I worked with that it would flood because all the washing machines going at once would be too much
Oh,
for their system.
Oh,
oh
So I
wow.
would be standing there like mopping up water. We're trying to do the event or whatever. So that, over so long of doing this, we've learned all the ways not to do it. So that would be one where that's not a great experience for anybody. So yeah.
No.
Yeah.
how do you get word out to people that this is available?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple ways. The main thing has been over time, because we've tried this again all sorts of ways. I remember when I was and living in Canton, Ohio as a college student, I would go around to there was a local homeless shelter where I lived called Refuge of Hope. Hope, there you go. But so I had a great relationship with them. So we would like go pass out flyers in advance of events and things like that. So we've done it all kinds of ways. What we found that works really well over time for us is that very organically, and again, because of the communities we're working with, it's a lot of word of mouth. We have big signs and banners that we put outside the laundromat when we're hosting the event. So
Okay.
a lot of the laundromats have this built-in customer base of people in the community that rely on it. And then they will tell two friends and they tell two friends and then,
Okay.
so very quickly with
The word
just having our
spreads.
banners up and like having, and we have a calendar on our website that I also put on in the chat. So we keep everything updated like internally if people are looking for information. But just through those means, we will easily see 40 to 50 families at a laundry project in those 3 hours. So that's like one of the biggest ways. And then, yeah, like I've worked with Liz before on, she's helped to put the word out of upcoming events in Charlotte. And so it's that organic word of mouth, and that's a lot of just kind of those organic community connections as well. So, and like this is a perfect example. You all have access to our event calendar now, so maybe you're letting people know. So word kind of just spreads over time those ways. And once we've worked at a laundromat with a customer base, the one of the most common questions, when will you all be back? So, we're happy to try to give that information to folks that are there. So,
That's great.
I live in East Charlotte, and so of course it occurs to me to ask if you are able to function in dual languages.
yes, great question. So one of our biggest partner laundromats here in Charlotte has been Wash World Laundromat off Central Avenue, which is
Uh,
a heavily Hispanic area, as you're well aware. And we have had at each laundry project event in Charlotte volunteers that can help translate for us. So worst case scenario, we have Spanish information that we can pass to people if there's no Spanish speakers. But we've been lucky enough in Charlotte so far, and that's something in areas like that we're proactively looking for all the time is people to help translate. So yeah, great question. And we have Spanish. We have a big banner that's in Spanish too. So yeah, we especially and even in the other laundromat we've worked in Charlotte, it's been dual language. So
Right.
You thought of everything.
yeah, trust me, it's only of almost 15 years of doing this. It's we've made all the mistakes. Trust me.
That's how we learn.
Yep.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Ashanti, and thank
Welcome.
you so much, Corey, for sharing with us today. This is the first of hopefully many collaborations between your work and Wedgwood. I think I speak for everyone when I say that. So thank you for joining us. We'll certainly be sharing out information about the project with our congregation. But I have a few closing words that I think really speak to what we've been talking about today. And as I was thinking about hope this week, I stumbled across a quote from Michelle Obama that I think really encapsulates the importance of hope. You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all of the world's problems at once, but don't ever underestimate the importance that you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take a life of its own. Thank you.
We extinguish this flame, but we keep it in our hearts with the message of love and justice, taking it outside of these walls into the world in which we live in until we see each other again. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.